Hello everyone, welcome to what has been a very interesting day 2 here in Bahrain. We are here at the Sakhir International Circuit in what really has been an interesting day so far. As you can see, there are quite a few cars out on track. I haven't got the onboard cameras working yet, and I won't have them working before next week. But it really has been and there's just been a very interesting development. Because before, Roca have not proven bulletproof, and that was just proven just before this stream got underway. Alex Moores had to stop the Roca out on track. So once again, Roca proving they are by no means bulletproof. But they do have a fast car. And it seems to be a typical thing pretty much every day so far in the off season. Roca whoever's driving the Roca has had to stop like half an hour from the end of proceedings. That's what seems to have been the theme of their pre-season. We are having a few technical issues because I'm just getting a few things set up. I keep getting the high encoding. I'll try closing a few things. To see if that actually works. No, I'm gonna have to change the quality settings a little bit. So we'll. Okay, so we are back now, hopefully without any issues this time. I think it's still trying. Okay, so I've now got the settings that I used last year, so there should be no problems now, but hopefully I'll be able to increase the settings this year. But here you're looking at Toby Jones in the Roca. Well, not in the Roca. The Coombe GP. And also, obviously, notice the new sounds of these cars. They do sound, and they actually sound a little bit different to what they did in Jerez a couple of weeks ago. So some very interesting noises coming out of these cars. But now I'm actually going to give you a rundown of how today has gone so far in terms of all the how today has gone in terms of pre-season. I mean, obviously, Roca currently fastest obviously have had issues. with reliability. And also another thing that to point out, Max von der Gaal, I hadn't noticed that before. Need to put this on the sheet, but Max von der Gaal has improved to 127.686. So with CGP brought updates to this weekend, to this week's Bahrain test, CGP Racing. Well, that lag was because I have it clicked off, so because I have to do it this way. But Max von der Gaal doing a 127.686. That is an impressive time there from the Coupe CGP Racing driver. I think CGP have made some steps forward. This may be visible on the, I just need to check. Gaal doing a 127.686. That is an impressive time there from the Coupe C. Sorry, I just had to check something regarding the audio. As here is Toby Jones heading up towards. Let's turn it a bit down. I'm just doing a bit of sound testing here. Marco Efos, who's actually in, he participated in the Young Drivers test though last year, but Marco Efos is getting a go in the Speed Tech today. So I think he's done a good job in that car today. Of course, that really distinctively white livery that the Speed Tech has. And also the other thing, Dork's engine upgrade seems to have worked this year. As we're currently looking at Chantal Hawk in the Dork racing car. I mean, just listen to the car when it decelerates. Actually, I'm going to use this camera. And also on acceleration there as well. You could see the energy, you could hear the energy recovery system kick in. And now listen here. You can really hear the energy recovery systems in that Dork racing car. In regards to us, I was going to ask if James was going to be able to come on for this session, but he's unavailable. He will be actually available next week, he says. So we're going to see. So my colleague James will be commentating next week. But as Toby Jones heads into the pits at the end of a very long run that he's been on track for a while, has the Coombs GP car. Coombs GP definitely looking like they are best of the rest, aren't they? As here we're looking at Luke D-Mad. I was saying we're having a better day. a better time of things, they managed to. Lucas Quintanilla has done a 1:28.310. I mean, he only completed one lap yet in yesterday's morning session, but still, DMed I think have a lot of work, and they are the biggest losers from in comparison to last season. They haven't. The car just has looked all over the place. Literally everywhere the DMAD wet goes, it's just looked all over the place. I mean, they do say they have got a few aerodynamic upgrades, but I think they are they might want to bring some updates to next week if they want to improve. Because we've only got 3 weeks to go till Melbourne, so there's not really a lot of time for these drivers and for these teams to upgrade their car. And there's only going to be 4 more massive, major days of testing. Obviously, there is the media day, but the teams won't be allowed to run their cars at full pace there. So, and they're going to be on special filming tyres as well. So really, and they're also going to be using a generic HDV file as well. So really, because they're not going to be, they will be driving the cars with the graphics of looking like the actual cars will do this year. Obviously, that's the point of the filming day. That's why it's a filming day, but. But the thing is, they're just not going to be anything like the cars that they're actually going to be racing. So really, they're only going to have 4 days left before the season gets underway to be able to modify their car. So this is going to be some crucial running that these teams are doing. Absolutely crucial running. So now because if a car's had an issue, the dashboard is still on. You can't quite see on clubby cars because that turning vane's in the way. I think I can see Matt Coombs's dash is not on. So I don't think he's had any issues or anything. Actually, the wheel's not visible in this shot. But it should be in this shot. So not sure if he's actually had any issues or not. Actually, I can turn some form of onboard cameras on, but they won't be very good onboard cameras. No issues for Coombs at the moment. Going over. Obviously, Alex Moore's had issues. I'm not going to use those cameras very much. And now here you're looking at EFOS in the Speed Tech. Blakemore has just headed back out. So we've got 7 minutes left on the clock here at here this afternoon in Bahrain, and what has been a really productive day for these teams as James Lang has headed into the pitch, just making sure that he did head in without, not due to any technical issues. Here looking at Chantal Hawk, who I believe has just gone out on track. So we're going to see her on a flyer in a moment as Marco Efos heads into the pits. I'm not sure if that will be the end of his day. He's done a good job in the speed tech, I think Efos has. I think, obviously, in case you don't know who Marco Efos is, he is a CGP2 driver. He participated in the last 2 weekends of last season, and he will be contesting the full season this year in CGP2 with the Baranasso Junior team. The new team coming into CGP2 this year. So now here we're looking at Chantal Hawk. I'm going to get the live timing on ksrmotorsport.liveraces.com as Tom Mungle heads into the pits. Heading in towards turn 4 is Chantal. Just waiting for the sector split to come up. This is way behind. Oh, it's come up now. It's 27.9 in the first sector. Actually, only 2/10 of Alex Moore's best. There's a Gindana ahead. Is heading into the end of the second DRS zone. Waiting for the second split to come up. On the live timing. 37.2. That's a good middle sector from Chantal. I think this might possibly be a personal best as she heads into the final corner. I believe she is on the soft tyre. So across the line goes Hawk. And it's a 27.041, which is a personal best. But it doesn't improve her up the order. A 27.041 though. And I didn't notice, but Toby Jones had done a 26.942. So it looks like at the moment we're looking at the top 3 being in quite a different league to the rest. Gindana have had a better day. As James Lane goes out on track for the final 4 minutes of the session. Just ahead of the Master Force of Matt Coombs. Of course, tomorrow Will Essie will jump back into the Yanata Roka. Toby Jones will remain in the Coombs GP. Chantal Hawk will remain in the Dork. Will Buchan will jump back in the Baranasso. Dan Milliner will jump into the Master Force. Luke Julian will return to the CGP. Kerry-Ann Peace will return to the Lockie that I think has looked very impressive so far. I've been very impressed by how Lockie have looked. Joshua Moores will jump back into the Gindana. Tom Mungle will remain because Tom Mungle was doing the all 3 days this weekend in Bahrain, and David Bland will be doing all 3 days next weekend in Bahrain. Matthew Towson will jump back into the Mossad, actually for the first time since day 1 in Jerez, because Tom Farrar-Smith was in the car yesterday. Dan Phillips will jump back into the DMAD. Louise Morrow will jump into the RTS. Phoebe O'Connor's done both days so far. Ben Blakemore will remain in the Shantana. In the speed tech will be Elliot Everson, who will be getting his first day of the Bahrain test. And then Louis Hyde will jump into the HWR for the first time in Bahrain. Oh, is that, well, I thought I saw a bit of debris there. It's just a bollard. So that is who's going to be driving each car tomorrow. And the final 30 minutes of testing, once again tomorrow, will be live streamed. There's Kieran Hardy. I'm not sure why what the point of him being sent back out is. But of course, this is more crucial testing that these drivers are going to be getting than in Jerez, because Jerez is has similar characteristics to some of the CRC tracks, but this is actually a venue that CRC will be racing at later in the year. In fact, for round 2, this is a venue that CRC will be racing at. It's the same version of the track that CRC will be racing on in late March. So this is actually a race venue that the Bahrain International Circuit is. It is actually a race venue. So there's going to be some crucial running that these drivers are getting. And of course, with reliability issues, they really do not want to lose. I mean, how much running DMAD lost yesterday, only doing 1 lap in the morning session. Dan Phillips did. But not in this afternoon session. Not many people have had. Only 2 people have had problems, and they are Alex Moores and Chloe Carter. Obviously, Alex Moores had to stop with an engine problem. We're not sure what the fault was on Chloe Carter's car, but so far there are 2 teams that haven't actually had any reliability issues yet this testing, and they are Guindana, who have got through every single day so far without any issue. Well, I highly doubt that when end of testing comes that they'll be able to maintain that status. But Masterforce, I believe at the moment, are at the top of the mileage charts. Anyway, the checkered flag is out on day 3, on day 2. The checkered flag is out. So Abu Legit heading into the pits, obviously the first after time is finished. 69 laps Abu Legit completed, so a good... So after having their running, because Abu Legit did have to stop the car in the morning session, so did lose a handful of running there. But a very productive 4 hours that these drivers have got here in Bahrain. Of course, we do have the final 4 hours of testing this week in Bahrain tomorrow. And now, of course, we have the final preseason test. And also, don't forget there's going to be a Winter League as well after testing, just to test a few things regarding streaming. I have done a vote as to what mod it's going to be with. It's going to be a 4-race Winter League held the 4 days after the Bahrain test. Basically, like I did last year. I did the same last year. They all take place in successive days. And there's going to be 4 races. With the second race will be the grid revert, top 8 reverse from the first race. Same with the second race and everything. There's going to be there's going to be a qualifying session like before. But that is to test a few things. And then, of course, I'm not sure what I'm going to stream with the media day. But, of course, every practice, qualifying and race will be live streamed. This season. In what that really was an interesting day 2 here in Bahrain. we've seen a lot of teams make good use of the track time that they had. But of course, we have the final day, which will take place tomorrow. The final day in Bahrain this week. Of course, there's another 3 days in Bahrain next week to see the end of the preseason testing. But it was a very interesting day 2 here in Bahrain. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 3. Goodbye.